number of people that have been kidnapped in the last 9 months. You look at this constant issue of armed robberies. I mean, imagine people kidnapping 6-year-old pupils, 5-year-old pupils. Imagine the trauma those kids would have to live with for the rest of their lives. I mean, the fact that their families have to reportedly pay like 15 million naira to get them, released, whereas at the government of Ekiti State, the statement signed by the chief press secretary, is saying that the governor of the state, His Excellency Governor WG is thanking the president, thanking the chief of staff, thanking the national security advisor, thanking the inspector general of police for helping to rescue those kids. Well, word on the street says that the families actually run food, prepared food, drinks, cigarettes on specification. So you ask yourself 4, 5, 6 different form of identification card, for instance. You have your international passport, you have like 5, 6 things for you to identify yourself, and still they will tell you that, oh, that's why the fact that they reconcile all of those things, they can't track this, they can't track that. You have you have bandits uploading videos on social media, videos of 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes on social media spaces, and they still can't be traced. And I'm asking, I understand how big the country is. I understand how much unguarded spaces we have across the country. If you stay in the north for a while, then you understand that truly this country is tremendously blessed with everything you can imagine in this life. And so the question is this: how do we come up with good level of leadership? And it begins with our election. So on the show today, we're going to be focusing on whose responsibility, the burden of delivering a free, credible, who we vote for via the primaries. Is it the umpires backed by the law? That's INEC. Is it the security agencies? We'll look at all of these steps, and I will try to see how we can make progress. This is coming on the back of the by-election that we had in some states across the federation, the Akoko Northeast, Northwest Federal Constituency, until President Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to pull him and make him a federal minister. There was also a by-election for Surulere 1 federal constituency that the APC won. APC also won the Akoko Northwest, Northeast as well. For the Lagos Surulere 1 federal constituency, he went to the APC, and in a constituency that has about 140,733 registered voters, and the total number of people that came to vote was the candidate of the PDP that had 278. Just look at the gulf of class between the results. Third was Labour Party with 240. Fourth in the election was ADC with 40. There are political parties in the recently concluded by-election for Surulere 1 that had 6 votes, just 6 votes. You look at that level of voter apathy. Where do we channel it to? Is it the country? Is it the situation of the economy? Is it that the judiciary had also killed the hopes of the people going into the election? Or perhaps they're already a mindset that, oh, this person would win regardless, so there's no point we getting into the mix. We look at that on the show today as well. We also look at, do we really need to focus on electoral laws? Is it about the law or the implementation of the law? We knew what happened at the last election. The issue of the beavers, the IREV, the conversation around the method of uploading results, and it brought a lot of credibility, or a lot of question on the credibility of the judiciary. And when the president was sworn in on the 29th of May, one of the things he said was that he's going to reform the judiciary. And people start asking, how would the president reform the judiciary? The judiciary is not supposed to be checkmate, to be a checkmate for the executive. It's supposed to be an entity on its own. We have all of these issues where, even the recommendation of judges, the appointment is still being, ratified by the executive, or they are being nominated. There are just a lot of issues with the electoral process. In 2022, when the Electoral Act as amended was signed in, I think, around February, a lot of Nigerians felt, okay, we would have a decent election. We had an example of an off-cycle election in Ekiti State that brought in His Excellency Governor Abiodun Oyebanji. It was an open primaries. The election was free and fair. I went to cover it. In fact, the PDP came third. The former governor, Chief Shegun, came second of the SDP. We saw the same thing played out in Osun as well. The incumbent governor was defeated of the APC, and the PDP Senator Adeleke won his election. So a lot of Nigerians went into the last election with so much expectations. Let's get straight up into it. My guest today is a man of many parts. He's a legal practitioner, human resource manager. He's also a public affairs analyst. He understands the conversation around politics and leadership. Of course, he's a lawyer, a practicing lawyer. Barrister Adams Attah joins me in the studio today, and it's my pleasure to have you join us. Barrister Attah, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me on this session today.
Okay. We're going to stare at some conversation up today, and I'm going to be very sincere with you. We're going to have a no hold back session on the show today. My name is OPEYEMI AKINYODE. In case you're wondering who is speaking, and you're live from Milan 98.3 FM. This program is a political program, but it's a non-political program. So irrespective of how the conversation would go today, if it touches you, just take it the way it is. Barrister Attah, I mean, there's so much happening at the moment, economic wise, security wise, infrastructure, education, health. Everything seems to be at a standstill, except the value of the naira that keeps going down. And so you look at yourself. A friend of mine told me that on the 24th of January this year, he got a commodity for 554,000. And yesterday, he almost had panic attack. I said, what happened? He said he went back to buy the same commodity and it's now 700,000. So you go out in the morning to buy a brand of toothpaste, and then you go back in the evening to buy the same brand of toothpaste, and the price had gone up. You get a drink, and the person said, oh, yesterday I sold this particular canned drink for 350. When I went back to restock, it has become 350, so I cannot sell it 350 again, so it becomes 400. People cannot afford to have a decent meal. I'm not talking of balanced diets now. I'm not even talking of 3 square meal. I'm talking about a decent meal, at least one meal a day. People cannot afford housing anymore. You can't sleep with your 2 eyes closed. There were protests in Kano yesterday. There were protests in Niger yesterday.